Hey, I am here and I hope that you guys are all doing well. I am Anne Follette and I come on live every Wednesday at noon Pacific time, which is 3 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. And I had a little technology glitch a few minutes ago, which is why I am coming to you live about 10 minutes late. It might even be 16 minutes late. So in any event, it reminds me, and I think this is a good reminder for you as well, that things don't always go according to plan. And having the ability to take a deep breath, say to yourself that we can do hard things, and then figuring out how to fix it without freaking out is actually a really, really important set of skills to have. And when something like this happens for me, now I've been doing this, I've been going live on Facebook and now also over on YouTube for years. So I do have a lot of practice. Nevertheless, even with all that practice, when something doesn't work, it's like, oh my goodness, it's not working. And so you have to first of all kind of laugh. You have to then number one, you have to laugh. Number two is you have to take a deep breath. And then number three, you have to remind yourself that we can do hard things. And as Marie Forleo says, everything is figure-outable. And one of the best things to do, which is what I did here to get things to work, is I just rebooted my computer. So I haven't actually been broadcasting from my beautiful creative studio, which is what I'm standing in right now. I haven't actually been out here for quite a while. And so, of course, the setup out here is a lot more complicated than when I just go live from my laptop. But I am going into sort of a new season where I am going to be spending a lot more time here in my creative studio creating art. And many of you know me as an online educator, and I spend a lot of time teaching. I teach an incredible, if I do say so myself, set of programs that teach you how to do surface design, which is surface pattern design specifically, which is where you take your doodles. I teach you how to turn them into beautiful repeating patterns so that you can put them on wrapping paper like you see behind me, on fabric that you can then turn into gorgeous blouses. You can put your doodles on all kinds of different products once you learn my technique of using Adobe Illustrator to do so. And so I have a variety of different programs. I have a Doodles coaching week. I have a Doodles mini course. I have my signature program, which is the Pattern Design Academy. I have a membership program. And so in those programs, I not only teach you how to use Adobe Illustrator, which is actually really hard. I learned how to use it in my late 50s. I was just about to turn 60 when I opened it for the very first time. And so having needed to both learn Adobe Illustrator myself and teaching all of you how to use Adobe Illustrator, I've found over the years that, yeah, things can be hard, but we can figure them out. And one of the things about technology that is kind of my go-to strategy, so if you need a go-to strategy when technology is not working for you, one of the best things to do is to just reboot your computer and see whether it was just having a moment. And it was just having a moment. So I'm going to play with my cute little emojis to see whether or not they will come down to give us all a big, huge smiley face so that we know we are back in business. And so today's broadcast is about my blog. And for those of you who are on my email list, and if you're not on my email list, head over to AnneLafolletteArt.com, and there'll be a place there for you to download one of my free resources. And I write a blog every Tuesday. And in the blog, I talk about art, creativity, and surface design. And this week's topic is all about the importance of beautiful professional photography. As you start to take yourself really seriously as an artist and as a creative entrepreneur, you have to showcase your work and yourself in a very professional manner. And I'm very lucky to have an amazing photographer who lives in my cute little hometown here, which is north of San Francisco. Her name is Kim Thompson Steele, and she does all of my product photography and also the me photography, so that when you see me online or you see an image of me on my website or when I'm on social media or in any of my marketing campaigns and inside my programs, the pictures of me have all been taken by Kim Thompson Steele. So in this week's blog, I wanted to talk about why this is important and some of the amazing benefits for you. So I am going to pop over here and see whether or not I can do this and come over here. And hold on a second. Let me see if I can come back on screen. So I am now back on screen. I'm going to see if I can play with some of my buttons here to remember what, how they work. Okay, look at me. I'm remembering how to use all my fancy buttons in my creative studio. So you see me on the left-hand side of your screen, and then this is actually my website right here. And it's AnnLaFolletteArt.com. You can come up here to where the URL is. And if you scroll down, here, I'm going to scroll down for a second. So you can see I've got a free ebook, right, which will talk to you all about how to create either a side hustle or a full-time or part-time career in surface design. You can grab the ebook by clicking this Learn More button right here. I'm going to click on Accept the Cookies. You can also read a little bit more just about me, see some of the images of some of the artwork I've created. And then I have 3 different freebies down here. I have the Craft a Career You Love. This could be a side hustle, a part-time gig, or a full-time gig in service design. I also have this wonderful freebie about your top tips for craft fair success. So if you are more of a crafter, or even if you get into service design and you want to sell your surface designs, whether it's on fabric or on wrapping paper, if you want to really be successful at a craft fair, I've got all kinds of tips for you in this downloadable guide. You can download it right here. When you hover over these buttons, they turn red, which means you can click on them. And then I also have my favorite art supplies. But if I come back up to the top, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go into the blog. So over here on the right, there is a red button that says blog. So if you click on that, you can see that I've been writing a blog every single week for years. You can go backwards, you can go back and back and back and back and back if you want. But here is this week's blog, and here's a beautiful picture. Look how gorgeous this picture is. This picture was taken by Kim Thompson Steele, and I absolutely love it. And so here is the blog about the power of professional photos and photo shoots. So I'm going to click on it to go into it so that you can see I broke the blog into 3 different sections, 3 really important different sections. One of them is all about the benefits, right? What are the key benefits of having professional photos taken? Number 1, one of the key benefits is that it enhances your brand image and credibility. So let me come back on screen and let's talk about that for a second. So I think it's really, really important for us to take ourselves seriously. So the benefits of a professional photo shoot are it really lends credibility to what it is that you're doing. It showcases the fact that you're taking yourself seriously. In addition, it's going to help you create a really strong visual identity, right? A visual presence, a visual identity. What type of background do you generally have your photographs taken in? And of course, there can be a variety of those, especially like me when I travel. And then you also will find over time that you'll increase engagement and reach when you start to use your professional photos, because people are going to start to get to know you better. And they want to know the artist behind the art. Tell me in the comments, don't you agree that you want to purchase art or purchase products from people that you know, who you have an affinity for, who you've gotten to know, who you realize is a small business owner and you want to support them? So jump into the comments and tell me if you agree. And so one of the ways to get your customers to be more engaged with you and to learn more about you as a person is to have professional photos taken so that when you post about yourself, you can have a picture of you and then you can talk about what it is that you're working on. Or some behind the scenes photos are great. So those are the 3 benefits. Number 1, it adds credibility. Number 2, you start to get a visual language. And number 3, you increase your engagement and your reach. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about and did talk about in the blog is it's super important for you to be prepared because you're going to spend money on a professional photographer. So I wanted to let you know what are the most important tips to ensure that you take full advantage of it and that you're prepared. I learned some of these the hard way. And I am the type of person who, when I find a photographer whose work I really like, I want to give them the ability to do what they do best. And sometimes that can be giving them a little bit too much free rein. And so there's a balance between giving them total free rein and then you get pictures back and they're actually not what you wanted versus telling them, I want you to be you and do you in terms of the types of photographs you take, but I do need these types of photos. So having a photo list, like a list of what you want to have taken, sets your photographer up for success, and it also means that you will be more prepared. So choosing the right photographer you're going to be able to talk to in that manner is number 1, right? How to find a photographer. There are lots and lots of options for photographers. Finding someone who's in your local area is of course best because then you don't have to pay for any travel. And you want to take a look at their photos to see if you like their type of photography because they're not going to be able to turn into somebody different. They are going to take that type of photo. So if they're kind of a moody photographer or they're more of a professional, like they do more professional, like headshots for lawyers or something like that, you want to do your due diligence to find the right photographer. So that's number 1, finding the right photographer. Number 2 is you got to plan your outfits and your props. So this is where your planning comes in, where it's super important. Where first of all, you're talking to your photographer around where are the different locations you want to have the pictures taken. So generally when I am working with Kim, we're only going to have energy for about 2 to 3 hours max. This is super important. So if you're multitasking, come back to me. Many photographers will do by the hour, or they'll do half day, or they'll do full day. And what I have found over the years working with Kim is that we like sort of half day as a maximum because we get really tired. Within that, you want to know, are you going to go to a couple different locations? So are you going to jump in your car? Are you going to start at your house and maybe do some pictures in your house or in your creative studio or in your garden? Are you then going to get in the car and go to some other location where potentially the image that I used as the cover image for the blog, that's actually in front of a beautiful white painted wall. It's a brick wall that was painted white and it's in Sausalito. And so that's about 20 minutes away. And so generally we're not going to do something at home for an hour and a half or 2 hours and then get in the car and do something in Sausalito for 2 hours. It's just exhausting, right? It's just too much. But we could do something and have done something where we take some pictures in the house, like at my kitchen table, and then we come up here, which is just through the garden into my creative studio, and we take some pictures here. So that is part of the prep work. And then also, you don't want to be wearing the same thing the whole time because you want to be able to post images from your photo shoot where you're wearing different outfits. And those, you have to have those ready in advance. So I actually have a bar, like a really small little bar where I can put my, I usually just change my top because most of my pictures are taken kind of from the, waist up. But think about that. So again, to recap, the key things to keep in mind to be prepared is to pick the right photographer and really understand their style by looking at the work that they've done in the past, making sure that you're prepared with your outfits and locations. Where do you want the photos to be taken? And then number 3 is you want to, so those are the, hold on, what did I say? Oh, so I forgot the first one, which is your goals. I did them kind of out of order. So the best ways for you to be prepared is to ensure you know what your goals are. So is this going to be a photo shoot that's really all about you as a person, or is this going to be all about your products and taking product photography, or is it a mix? So that's number 1, making sure you've really set goals. Number 2 is picking the right photographer, like I've talked about, and understanding the type of work they're going to create, but also knowing that you have to be able to communicate to them about what it is you want. And then number 3 is having all your outfits and props ready. Okay, so then the last thing is about how to use your photos. And so, of course, I've got 3 key tips for you about how to use them. And I think they're pretty obvious, but always good to kind of recap. Number 1, you're going to want to use them on your website. And so you can see my images on my website. Right at the top of the page, you see an image of me inside my studio that Kim took. So you're going to definitely put them on your website. You want to have them on any e-commerce platform that you also have or that you might be linked to. You're going to want to use photography on any of your social media outlets, right? So you're going to want to not just sort of do reels and stories and photography posts on Instagram and Facebook, but you can intersperse those with product photos that you took from your photo shoot and carousel ads, carousel posts are ones where you have several images and you scroll through them. That's another great place to use a combination of sort of images of you, maybe while you're working on something, and then the end product itself. So super important to use them on all of your social media outlets. And then also you'll use them in your marketing and in your ad campaigns. And so for any of you who found me through a Facebook or Instagram ad, you saw my cute little face on that ad and with a description of what it was that I wanted you to sign up for, whether or not it was my Doodles coaching week or whether it was my Service Pattern Design Academy program or whether it was something else. So those are the 3 ways you want to use them. Your website is number 1. Number 2 is your social media platforms. And number 3 is in your marketing or your ad campaigns. So I wanted to cover those very important reasons why having professional photos taken is so powerful. So I know that I have taken more of your time today than normal because of the glitch with technology. But if you have any questions for me, so Maggie Olson, I see that you are here. I'm looking down at my phone because I can see your name when I look actually at the phone. Facebook makes all these changes where you can't bring comments up anymore. And so actually, let me see if that is true or if I can. Let me open up my, let's see if I can. So I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to see if I can open up my window for comments. And then let's see. What happens, Maggie, if I click on this? Do you come over? This is Maggie's comment. And I don't know if I can bring you on over. In the past, you could just click on it and then it would pop up. There you go. Okay, it's probably just me not remembering how it works. So Maggie Olson said, "Hi, Ann, I love this topic. Thank you so much." And let's see what else I've got. Oh, good. So Judy Hayes, thank you. So Judy Hayes said that she downloaded the craft fair guide and just applied for a vendor spot at her local farmer's market. And it goes through December. You're still waiting to hear back. That's fantastic. Good for you. So super valuable guide. Again, it's at annlafollettart.com. That's the front page. Scroll down and you'll see that craft fair guide. Judy, I cannot wait to hear if you get accepted at the farmer's market. You have to let us know. That's outstanding. And then let's see. Valerie said... Valerie Gregg, you said, "I wanted to let you know that my Dentures at Midnight fabric on Spoonflower is selling. When I see the buyers, they are all connected to the dental industry, and I'm surprised and thrilled." Listen, this is brilliant, right? This is brilliant. When you take any of my programs, you might remember that often, first of all, often I will say, if you're multitasking, come back to me, because we're usually multitasking and then you miss what I say that's like really important. And one of the things I say is like, pick an industry. Pick an industry where you already have connections, pick an industry that you are really passionate about supporting, and then make sure that all of your work would fit into that industry. And so Valerie, if you are in that world, right, in the dentures, the dentistry, and the teeth world, and are creating beautiful designs that people are going to want to use in that industry, you upload them into Spoonflower, which is a print-on-demand site. I teach you, of course, how to do that in my programs. And then, of course, people will buy them, right? Because you have a niche, right? You're talking to a very specific person. And so, Valerie, congratulations. You should post some of your work with a link to them inside Anne's Art Club. Right? Post it in the group so that everybody can see it, and then they can click through specifically to go see what they are able to also buy so they can see how this works. Right? It's so important for us to share how everything works. All right, so let's see who else made a comment. And Kathy Gale is here. Hello, Kathy. It's wonderful to see you. Okay, I think I've gone all the way back up to the top. So the only comments that I can actually see are the comments that I think you're posting on. To be honest, I have no idea. You're either posting them on inside my group or on my page. But luckily I can, in fact, bring them over. So let's see, where's Valerie again? It's awesome. I can't wait to learn more about Valerie. And thank you, Kathy Gale, so that I was only 15 minutes late. And so, good. So I appreciate that. And let's do these cute emojis. I'm going to do a laughing emoji this time. Aren't those fun? I think that they are absolutely hilarious. I love them. And I usually do the one that has the hearts, but I thought, hey, I've got a couple of extra buttons. I should press my buttons so you can see how they work. All right, so I am going to let you go. And again, please go to anneLaFolletteArt.com/blog, because that will take you directly to the blog page. And you can scroll down and read past blog posts, and of course, read more details about what I just shared with you today about the power of professional photos. I highly encourage you to read through it and specifically make sure that you do the preparation steps that I recommend so that you get the full value from your shoot. And then, of course, we want you to share your professional photos inside Anne's Art Club. You can share them on my public page if you're okay having people see them. If you want to keep them private, then post them inside Anne's Art Club, which, of course, is our private Facebook community. I always like to say in closing, so first of all, I have to remember how do I actually finish the broadcast. So thank you all for joining me. And I always like to say in closing that I am Anne LaFollette, and it's never too late to create. And I will be back next week. See you then.